In the mid-30s, both Le Corbusier and Salvador Dali visited New York. In this video, we will show you how Rem Koolhaas translated these visits in his book Delirious New York, how Manhattan managed to digest their plans to reclaim the city into the European spirit, plans to shock it with massive ideas to destroy it and rebuild it, or to disrupt its culture with a 2-meter-long loaf of bread. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, and let's get started. Intro. Dali and Le Corbusier are men with different backgrounds and beliefs. One is a surrealist artist, so his approach is more or less philosophical. The other is a cubist and a modern architect, so he is more of a hands-on guy. Dali's PC method. In the late 20s, Salvador Dali injects his paranoid critical method into surrealism. It is the conquest of the irrational, a visit from the sane to the realm of the mentally ill. These art pieces exploit an active state of the mind that can interpret the same image in different ways. The idea behind it is the paranoid use of each fact and event to confirm his ideas and conclusions. So every reality of the world is used to reinforce the reality of his mind. Dali's technique relied on different operations to reproduce this way of seeing the world. The goal of this method is to disrupt the modern world claims that everything is known, even the unknown, to give us a fresh start. Rem claimed that PC existed long before Dali discovered it. It can be seen when Columbus wanted to prove that he can reach India by sailing west. He was clearly wrong, but we still call the native tribes Indians. Le Corbusier Combat. Le Corbusier carries the traits of the paranoia in his character. He believed that he was called to battle in all countries to save their cities and societies. He wanted to invent and build the new city of the machine age. Manhattan was that city, where Le Corbusier refused to see it. So, in order to accomplish his goal, his first task was to prove it doesn't yet exist. His task was first to kill its modernity and ridicule its skyscrapers, then to redesign the anti-Manhattan. To him, Manhattan skyscrapers are child's play and immature. Le Corbusier became a paranoid detective who invents his criminal. The arrivals. Unlike Le Corbusier, the New World was irresistible to Dali. He sailed for New York and planned a shock effect on arrival. A loaf of bread, 2 meters long, with an inner wooden support for it to hold. But to his own shock, none of the reporters asked him a single question about it. Dali's PC method of inventing paranoid elements into the real world required a culture with solid conventions in order to disrupt it. In Manhattan, there is no such scale in which a shock can register. Le Corbusier's experience was different. He was like the loaf of bread invented by Dali. He was invisible. On his trip, none of the photographers noticed him, and his first arrival went unnoticed. The redesigns. Throughout his visits, Dali was himself shocked that Manhattan is a city that did not want to be modern. Unlike their facades, its skyscrapers were decorated from the inside with classical elements. New York is a field where all histories and ideologies, once separated with space and time, are now gathered. To him, New York is not prismatic. It is all round and red. It is skyscrapers gathering at night to perform sexual acts that illuminate them and generate their central heating. The approach of the architect is more concrete. The trouble with New York is that its skyscrapers are too small and too many, lacking order and harmony, like little needles all crowded together. His solution was to remove and replace all of Manhattan with his radiant city. The city of massive horizontal skyscrapers separated by vast plots of green fields and trees. Manhattan resistance. Rem Koolhaas then went on explaining how Dali's attempt to shock New York with a commissioned work to design a storefront. After finalizing it, and to his surprise, the managers of the store cover all the PC aspects of his artwork to bring it back to the real world. Dali was raged and leaped over the glass front, shattering it. And so, he was arrested by the police. After World War II, the concept of the United Nations was revived. America offers to finance its home base. Le Corbusier represented France on its International Design Committee, and Manhattan was chosen as its perfect location. Even though Le Corbusier was only an advisor, he tries to become the sole architect of the project. He presented his design as a solution for all of Manhattan, building up on his previous philosophies. Due to his radical vision, he was not invited to supervise and develop or detail the project. The final design of the project was overlapped by the rendering work of Hugh Ferris. Ferris and the design committee drained Le Corbusier ideology. Manhattan finally digested Le Corbusier. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next one.